Good evening. Welcome to the annual New Year's Eve concert here at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. Of course, St. John the Divine is the seat of the Episcopal Diocese of New York. The Right Reverend Andrew Dietschy is its bishop. I'm Clifton Daniel III, the Dean of the Cathedral. The Cathedral is a welcoming home for all people, and has been since its founding, proclaiming God's love for all and serving the needs, the hopes, the aspirations of the city in its wholeness and its brokenness, feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, caring for the dispossessed. Thanks tonight goes to Mount Sinai Health System and the trustees of the Cathedral for providing funding for this concert. Welcome all, especially those who are watching at home, because there's nobody else here but just us chickens that you see behind us. A special welcome to our beloved Harry Smith, whom you'll be hearing from in a minute, the Cathedral Choir and artists and musicians behind me, and our own maestro, Kent Tridle. Since I last stood here to welcome us to the New Year's Eve concert in 2020, I believe we were in a more hopeful mood. The new year of 2021 turns out to be mostly discouraging, and a discouraging year for many. The Bible, the titles of tonight's musical pieces pretty well summarize the paths that we have traveled this year. Mourning, hope, shared world, remembrance, prayer, peace. We have known pain and mourning this past year, yet here we are once again, gathered still in the midst of the COVID pandemic. We seem not to have moved at all over the past year. The year about where we end the year about where we were at the beginning of this year. Yogi Berra's words sum it up well. It's déjà vu all over again as we continue to navigate the unknown paths of this pandemic. The poet T.S. Eliot has some wisdom that speaks to moving along unknown paths. He says in his poem, Little Gidding, the end of all our beginnings is to arrive where we started and to know the place for the first time. So here we are, 1 year later, come to the same intersection of disease, discouragement, and devastation. This is not a celebratory New Year's Eve with bright prospects looming in days ahead. But we are not sitting here tonight to confirm our discouragement. This great cathedral where we gather has been at the same intersection through 4 pandemics. The 1918 flu pandemic, polio, AIDS, and now COVID. By attending tonight's concert, you are not voting for discouragement. You are confirming and affirming as witness to our determination and the force of our hope. We did not come here tonight, as Dylan Thomas said, to go gently into that good night of soul weariness, anesthetized by anxiety, blunted by giving up caring, frozen with fear. We do gather tonight to claim the hope this cathedral stands in witness to, and that our music tonight expresses so well. Let us do the mourning we must do, but also let us boldly claim our faith that life is not static and that seen or unseen, God is present. Let us use this night to resolve that life is not simply about enduring, and to loudly claim the hope and the confidence that resides deep in the marrow of our bones. And claiming that hope and that determination on this New Year's Eve and in the midst of this present day, let us enter this new year in hope and with perseverance and with confidence. God bless us all. Happy New Year. And now let me introduce our beloved friend, Harry, who will be our Master of Ceremonies.
Thanks, Steve. Good evening, everybody. Hello, orchestra. Hello, choir. Hello, organist. Hello, Kent. I'll tell you what. First, know that for those of us who are here, it's just not the same without you there, and especially without you all the way back there. When we have come to this place on New Year's Eve over so many years and so many nights, we could see in your faces your sense of anticipation. We could feel your presence, the comfort of community, and we could hear in your applause the appreciation. And we love the harmony as you sang along with Judy Collins and Jamette Pittman, Amazing Grace, and This Little Light of Mine. Different notes combined into chords of unity, just like E pluribus unum, out of many one. We're going to begin tonight's concert with a great ancient hymn of gratitude. And I have to tell you, during the holidays, I was listening to Spotify a lot, and in one of my Spotify channels of holiday songs, over and over again, I heard this old song by Bing Crosby. I've got plenty to be thankful for. I haven't got a great big yacht to sail from shore to shore, still I've got plenty to be thankful for. I've got plenty to be thankful for, no private car, no caviar, no carpet on my floor. Still, I've got plenty to be thankful for. I've got eyes to see with, ears to hear with, arms to hug with, lips to kiss with, someone to adore. How could anybody ask for more? Those words written by Irving Berlin. This version of gratitude written many centuries before. So let's turn it over to Ken Schreider.
Deum laudamus, Te Deum, Te Deum laudamus. Te Dominum confitemur. Te Dominum, Te Deum, Te Dominum confitemur.
It's in moments like this that you really, really, really are missed, because you could just hear, in my imagination at least, the thunderous applause. That was fantastic. You will find through tonight's program that there's nothing accidental or incidental about the music that you're going to be listening to. It's very intentional. The first piece of, as we turn the corner to these meaningful pieces of music, was a piece that was written by Joel Thompson, based on Haydn's version of the last words of Christ. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And what you'll hear are the 7 last words of the unarmed, including those of Kenneth Chamberlain, a former Marine who's, what's the little button you were supposed to push when you want help to come? First alert, button went off by accident. The next thing you know, he was dead. Trayvon Martin, 17 years old, killed in Florida, basically for wearing a hoodie. Amadou Diallo, not so far from here, an unarmed man gunned down by New York City police. Michael Brown, the man who was killed in Ferguson, and we remember what happened after that. Oscar Grant III, young man on a subway platform, shot by a Bay Area rapid transit policeman. John Crawford, 22 years old, holding a BB gun in a store that sold BB guns. He was killed. And Eric Garner, arrested first for selling loose cigarettes in front of a bodega. This next section, conducted by Brian Zeros, Eric Searles tenor, Stephen Beck on piano, and then you'll hear something more familiar and also as moving, Glory by John Legend in Common, an Academy Award winner. You shot me. You shot me. You shot me.
You shot me. You shot me. You shot me.
You shot me.
You shot me.
You shot me. You shot me. You shot me. You shot me. You shot me. You shot me. You shot me. You shot me.
When the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory, glory, glory.
To end what was started. MLK had a dream of a table where we'd all sit, and moving toward that dream, we cannot quit. Every person deserves their justice. You can't believe that it's just us, because being persecuted, everybody's got a story. But I know one day everybody's gonna see the glory. The glory is us united as one. Neither hate, ignorance, judgment, or guns can win this war against division and discrimination. Come on, can't you see the greatness that's in all of us? Especially when we give love, honor, and trust. So let's stop this abomination and start loving as one, healing as one, growing as one, feeling as one, caring as one. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking living as one.
Glory, when the glory comes, it will be.
those of us who are here are not great in number, but great in our enthusiasm. That was fantastic. Special thanks to Jamette Pittman, our wonderful soprano, Eric Sorrells, our rapping tenor, right? Something that he didn't think was going to be in his resume. Our trio, Hallie Gilbert, Elizabeth Van Oz, and Katie Geisinger. Really wonderful. And Brian Zeros, our conductor. Thank you all so much. We're going to change gears here, bring in a new conductor, Jia Yi. The first piece written by a woman whose family was affected greatly by the Cultural Revolution in China. Her educated parents, their father and her older sister were removed from the family during the Cultural Revolution, and oddly enough, during a re-education process, the composer of this first piece learned about Chinese folk songs. So please welcome a different conductor now, Jia Yi, for this next section, which bears repeating that as we go through this very intentional night, of the things that may have slipped through the cracks a little bit in the last several months, but bear re-recognizing Asian hate crimes in the United States have gone up 73% in just the last year. And in New York City this year, up 361%. For the next piece, there's a through line. As a young reporter, decades ago, I remember visiting a young man who was dying of what was then called a gay cancer, which then over time we started to call AIDS. There was something about that visit and that conversation and about the horrid and sheer loneliness of the young man's death that is not unfamiliar, I think, for the hundreds of thousands who have died in hospitals across the country, here in the United States and across the world, ventilated, only able to communicate through a whiteboard or a sign on a piece of plexiglass or over FaceTime. This next piece was written by David Hurd, who's an organist and composer who's worked for decades here in New York City, and it's called When Night Fell. It was written as part of the Names Project, and I just want to share the words of it before we take a listen. When night fell as never before in living memory, it seemed at first as if the planet had faltered in its turning, had lingered, malingered, letting loose a flood of darkness invisible to some but far too real for many. Chaos and deep night are come upon us. Yet even from the first, there were flickers of light. Through the thickets of questions, piercing through the facade of denial and shimmering on the pools of despair. Light is stronger than darkness. Still, the nocturnal terror seeped through the porous walls of fear or brashly swept through all defenses, everywhere extinguishing life. Lives both famous and obscure, but not their remembrance. Their names could not be washed away, could not be drained of their dearness, could not be rendered meaningless. Many waters cannot quench love, nor can floods drown it. The embers of their undefeated memory have kindled a dawn of hope. Please welcome back to the podium Kent Tridle, soprano Jamette Pittman, on the organ Daniel Ficcari, and Stephen Beck on the piano with When Night Fell. I first hosted this concert in 1989. That New Year's Eve, we welcomed some of the leaders of the protests in Tiananmen Square. And since then, we have spoken of wars and of conflicts. We'd even do a scorecard sometimes of places where peace was winning, or at least seemed to be at the time. Through the years, we spoke of racial violence. We spoke of the violence of poverty. 30-some years of sermonettes from this sour old Calvinist. Some of you come here on New Year's Eve just for the music, but I think many of us are drawn here for something more, a sense of common ground, a sense of common purpose, perhaps, a yearning for justice. Of the things we celebrated some decades back was the end of apartheid in South Africa in the 1990s. Desmond Tutu's passing made some of those memories fresh. Bishop Tutu visited here at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. So too did Nelson Mandela. Both were heroic figures. Both took enormous risks in their opposition to oppression. I wonder if there will be days in the future when we will make decisions about how much we might risk to stand up for truth, to defend, say, democracy. We may be in the days to come asked to do more than light a candle or sing along with the songs. No question, it is a sobering prospect. But with a soaring stock market and a booming economy, it's easy to be distracted, to say nothing of the ever-present concern of this coronavirus. Its everywhereness has us shaken, uneasy, unsure. We are rattled, all right. To the core, it feels like some days. So this time we have spent together, and the time we've spent together in years past, is meaningful. It is for me, for its quiet, for its beauty. I'm realizing after all these years that New Year's Eve has become a time of soul searching, of renewal, of putting to rest the year past and getting set for the year ahead. So here we are again. Let's pass the peace, albeit virtually. Peace be with you. May the peace of God be with you. Dona nobis pacem. Not sure exactly how this evening goes by so quickly, but it is the moment that I yearn to repeat year after year. This song, these candles, it just has so much more meaning year after year after year. Please join with Jamette Pittman. You can do this at home too, by golly, for this little light of mine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
A huge, huge thank you to Daniel Ficcari. How do you do that? Wow. Fantastic. Thank you so much to our wonderful orchestra. Thank you, bravo, brava. Our chorus, thank you, thank you, thank you. To our various conductors, Kent Trital, Brian Zeros, Jia Yi, our wonderful Jamette Pittman, soprano, Eric Sorrells, our wonderful tenor, who you heard just a little while ago, Stephen Beck on piano, Daniel, you too, again. Thank you all so much. God bless you, everyone, and Happy New Year.
Happy